The simple system smart photo booth owners use to track everything. Most photo booth businesses don't become chaotic overnight. It happens slowly. One missing prop after a wedding, a dead battery nobody charged, a cable lost during a rushed breakdown, an important booking delayed because equipment wasn't where it was supposed to be. At first, these feel like small mistakes, but over time, the chaos compounds, and many photo booth owners realize too late they're spending more time fixing problems than actually growing the business. That's why smart operators are starting to use simple tracking systems to monitor everything inside their business. Prop sensitivity, equipment health, dashboard workflows, replacement costs, because once bookings start scaling, organization stops being a luxury. It becomes the difference between a stressful side hustle and a business that runs like a machine. At first, most photo booth owners try to manage everything in their heads. They remember which props belong to which setup, which batteries were charged, which printer was acting strange last weekend, which cables are probably still inside the storage bin somewhere. And for a while, it works. Until the business grows, because the moment multiple bookings start happening every week, memory stops being reliable. Chaos starts moving faster than the owner can control it. That's when the real problems begin. A missing prop kit before a wedding, dead iPads during setup, lost charging cables, printers running low on paper nobody reordered, staff forgetting important event details, tiny mistakes that create stress, delays, refunds, negative reviews, and lost profit. And what makes this dangerous is how invisible the damage looks from the outside. Clients only see the final setup. They don't see the panic happening behind the scenes, the rushed phone calls, the emergency Amazon orders, the late night troubleshooting after events, the owner driving across town because one missing adapter could ruin an entire booking. This is why experienced photo booth businesses eventually realize something important. The business doesn't become harder because of more events. It becomes harder because of unmanaged information. And smart operators are solving that problem with surprisingly simple systems, not complicated software, not expensive corporate tools, simple tracking systems designed to remove chaos before it happens. Some businesses use inventory spreadsheets tracking every prop, cable, battery, printer component, and backdrop. Others use QR labels attached to storage bins and equipment cases so staff instantly know what belongs where. Some create pre-event checklists where every item is verified before leaving storage, because once businesses scale, forgetting one small item can trigger a chain reaction of expensive problems. Think about how much equipment modern photo booth companies actually manage now: cameras, lighting, printers, iPads, power cables, extension cords, props, backdrops, audio systems, tripods, batteries, memory cards. And every single item becomes a potential failure point if it isn't tracked properly. That's why organization quietly becomes one of the biggest competitive advantages in the industry. Because while most businesses focus entirely on marketing and aesthetics, high-performing operators focus on operational control. They know where everything is, what condition it's in when it was last replaced, what inventory is running low, which setups create the most damage, which events generate the highest stress. And over time, this data becomes incredibly valuable because patterns start appearing. Maybe certain prop collections disappear more often. Maybe one venue consistently damages equipment during transport. Maybe specific event types require extra setup time that isn't reflected in pricing. Without tracking systems, owners never see those patterns clearly. They just feel overwhelmed constantly without understanding why. And that's the hidden danger of running a creative business without systems. Problems repeat silently, again and again and again, until stress becomes normal. This is especially important now because the photo booth industry has become far more demanding than it used to be. Clients expect instant digital sharing, luxury presentation, custom overlays, fast setup, perfect reliability. One technical issue during an event can immediately damage client confidence, and social media makes everything worse. If something fails publicly at a wedding or corporate event, dozens, sometimes hundreds, of people witness it instantly. That pressure changes the entire business model. Photo booth companies are no longer just entertainment vendors. They're live event production systems. And live event systems fail when organization fails. That's why many experienced operators now spend more time improving back-end workflows than buying flashy new equipment. Because the businesses scaling successfully understand a powerful truth. Chaos is expensive. Every lost item, every forgotten charger, every missed checklist step, every emergency replacement purchase. All of it quietly destroys time, energy, and profit, But businesses with strong systems operate differently. They move faster, stress less, recover from problems quicker, train staff easier, and scale without everything collapsing under pressure. Which means the real difference between struggling photo booth businesses and profitable ones often isn't creativity at all. It's operational clarity nobody sees behind the scenes. The strange thing about organization is that most business owners ignore it until the chaos becomes unbearable. At the beginning, disorganization feels manageable. You remember where things are. You improvise when problems happen. You solve issues manually, but once bookings increase, the business starts moving faster than memory can handle. And that's when simple mistakes become expensive. One forgotten power cable delays setup. One missing battery ruins an event. One damaged printer creates panic in front of clients. One disorganized storage system wastes hours every single week. Small problems multiplied across dozens of events quietly become operational exhaustion. This is why smart photo booth owners eventually stop relying on memory and start relying on systems, not because they love spreadsheets, because systems protect profit. The most organized businesses now create workflows for almost everything. Pre-event checklists, empty audits, equipment maintenance schedules, backup gear systems, packing procedures, dot labeling. Some operators even organize equipment cases in the exact order items are needed during setup to reduce wasted movement during events. That level of detail sounds obsessive, until you realize how much time and stress it saves over an entire year. And in the event industry, time matters more than most people realize. Because every extra hour spent searching for missing equipment is an hour not spent growing the business. Every emergency replacement order cuts into profit. Every preventable mistake drains mental energy. Every chaotic setup damages professionalism. This is why experienced operators often appear calmer during events. Not because problems never happen, but because systems reduce the number of surprises, and that changes everything, especially when businesses begin scaling, because growth without organization becomes dangerous fast. More events mean more inventory, more staff, more transportation, more setup complexity, more opportunities for failure without systems. Businesses eventually reach a breaking point where the owner becomes the only person holding everything together manually. That's where burnout starts. And burnout destroys creative businesses quietly, not through dramatic collapse, through exhaustion. The owner gets tired of fixing the same preventable problems repeatedly. Stress increases, mistakes increase, client experience suffers. Growth becomes overwhelming instead of exciting. Meanwhile, businesses with strong operational systems scale differently. Staff can follow processes. NZTCNI stays controlled. Problems are detected earlier, events run smoother, profit becomes more predictable. And perhaps, most importantly, the owner gets their mental clarity back, because the real purpose of tracking systems isn't only organization, it's reducing cognitive overload. The brain performs better when it isn't constantly trying to remember hundreds of moving pieces at once. That's why the smartest photo booth operators now treat organization as a competitive advantage, not boring admin work. Because while other businesses are constantly reacting to chaos, organized companies are building consistencies. And consistency is what clients actually trust, not flashy Instagram posts, not expensive branding, reliability. The ability to show up prepared every single time without panic behind the scenes. And maybe that's the biggest hidden lesson in all of this. Most businesses don't become successful because they work harder. They become successful because they remove friction, less confusion, less wasted time, less preventable stress, less operational leakage. Sybil systems creating smoother execution over and over again. So here's something worth thinking about. If your entire business disappeared tomorrow, except for your systems and workflows, could you rebuild it quickly? Or are most things still trapped inside your memory? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more real-world insights on scaling creative businesses, fixing hidden operational problems, and building systems that actually make entrepreneurship easier, subscribe, because the businesses growing fastest are usually the ones running with the least chaos behind the scenes.